Welcome to the D, baby.
313 Detroit's love, the Motor City. Detroit's love, can't nothing stop me. Detroit's love, I love my city. Detroit's love.
Welcome to another episode, Middle Ground with JLE L.L.C. I have another awesome guest for you today. We had an innovator of the START Blueprint, startup enthusiast, inventor, instructor, keynote speaker, founder, and chief of simplicity of 8 Simple Steps, Maureen Gaige-Edwards. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Jeffrey. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you for doing it.
Thank you.
Want to tell people a little about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of gave a lot of titles there, right? I'm not really into titles. Right now, I'm the founder of 8 Simple Steps, which is my 6th company that I've created. So
Oh, wow.
when you say startup enthusiast, I do embrace and embody entrepreneurship.
I see.
But it always, it wasn't always like this. My first company I started after inventing a product was a nightmare. And I almost lost everything after leveraging everything. 401k, kids' college education, the house. I know. But I said I was never going to see somebody else go through this if I could avoid it. Because your financial future is on the line, right? Your passion is on the line. Doing what you love is non-negotiable. So 5 other companies later, and I am still here.
Awesome.
Now leveraging all that experience, all that learning in entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Got a few basic questions. First one, what led you on this path?
Well, I was in corporate America, and it was never part of the plan to be a small business owner, to own a company, do a startup, but having that aha moment of inventing a product, the worst thing is regret. I can handle fear, but no regret. And I knew if I didn't take it to market, if I didn't patent it, if I didn't commercialize it, I would regret it for the rest of my life. So I left corporate America and did everything I could to bring it to market. And I did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's still what did you do? What is the invention?
So I created 2 of them, actually. The first ever snap-on, snap-off pet bandana in the pet industry. And then the second one was the first and ever slobber blotter for dripping, drooling, slobbering dogs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Unbelievable time in my life, but the hardest time in my life. So, people think that running a business, being your own boss, it's also awesome. Yeah,
no.
there are. But, I think, being an entrepreneur,
it's a grind.
Sometimes, no, it's not all it's cracked out to be, is it?
You get it out the mud, man.
Yeah. You got to think long and hard. Yeah.
Learning marketing, all that good stuff with the flyers.
There are so many hats that you have to wear.
That's true.
You can't Google your way through owning a business and making money and being profitable and sustaining it. You can watch all those YouTube videos all you want, but unless you're with somebody who's walked that journey before, you're not going to be able to build a business on YouTube.
Yeah, you actually got to foot the pavement.
Yeah.
Learn as you go.
Yep.
So what is 8 Simple Steps?
So, like I said, it's my 6th company, and it came about as a COVID pivot, actually. So I'm an instructor. I was an instructor at the community college teaching entrepreneurship, marketing, website building, everything that goes into building a business. And when COVID shut down all of those face-to-face workshops, the students came to me and said, well, what are we going to do now? And we're small business owners. It's going to be worse for us than ever. I said, I'll bring all your education online because everything I teach is about simplicity. You don't have to complicate business. No. The more simple it is, the more successful it is. And I've always taught my courses in 8 simple steps, 8 modules. 8 modules to building a successful website, 8 modules to creating your brand. So I took it online. And although it was just local, all of a sudden I rolled it out national. And now it is one of the most successful companies I've ever done. I'm reaching entrepreneurs throughout the entire world now, Jeffrey. So it is so awesome because I get to multiply my impact like I never thought I could before.
You went worldwide with it. That's pretty awesome.
Worldwide, I do. I have people in Canada, people in England. Yeah. So it's, before it was just kind of local, right? And then you put it online, and there's so much more that goes behind it. I'm not going to say that this was, you throw it online and you create these courses and these mentoring educational platforms. It's a little bit trickier. Yeah, it's trickier. But where I was working one-on-one with people, and then in a class now, I can impact entrepreneurs and work with them to build a sustainable business on a much higher level. So it's been awesome.
Oh, that's pretty dope. So what have been some challenges along the way?
Which business are you asking about?
Hey,
right?
which one you want to talk about?
Oh my gosh. All right. So the first one was manufacturing. Here's my advice for everybody. Never start a business where you have to manufacture a product. And I did mine overseas after trying to do it here. And I think the greatest challenges I see in entrepreneurship that I experienced was pricing. People have a hard time getting their prices right so that they can bring in money, but more importantly, cover all of their overhead, pay themselves, and make a profit. And if you can't do all three of those, the business is not going to be sustainable. So I had that exact challenge in my first business, which is one of the reasons why I had to cut out wholesalers, go overseas. So depending on what's important in your business, and if you want to stay in business, sometimes you have to make some tough choices. And that's exactly what I did. So that's a challenge for a lot of people.
Now, how should they go about pricing for their product?
Well, there is just a simple formula. Remember, I'm into simplicity. So 3 things. When you're coming up with a service or a price or a product, anything like that, 1, you've got to add up every dime you spend in overhead, even down to your marketing costs. A lot of people forget about marketing, like the Facebook ads, the email platforms, your website platform. That's all overhead. To build a business. So that has to be number 1. Number 2, don't defer a paycheck. Haven't you heard of these entrepreneurs who go, I'll take a paycheck in 3 or 4 years when we're profitable? No, unless you can live off of that for, no money. I'm good, right? Then you have a hobby. You don't really have a business. If you're not taking a paycheck, you really have a hobby.
Yeah, you ain't about that life.
Yeah, so you've got to get paid and at least try and get your salary to be the same as what you may be left. Okay. And if not, at least be able to cover your essentials until things are really rocking. And then the third is to add a profit to it. So if you have services and you want to charge $100 an hour to cover your overhead, pay yourself, add $5 to it, add $7 to it as a buffer of profitability that you keep in the bank for emergencies and when you're ready to evolve and scale. So those are my 3. Got to cover them.
That's some Yoda wisdom right there. Somebody say, well, I just made a cardboard. I'm going to charge $30. Like, where'd you get that number from? It's just going to work. Like, come on, man. Did you do some data, some analytics? Nope, that's my number. Like, good luck with that.
Well, there is market research. So there is a science to it. You got to find out what your competitors are charging. You do have to understand what the industry will bear, what your customers will pay. But here's a trick, Jeffrey. If you build your brand, and I always say, build it before you build your business. If you build a strong enough brand, you can actually command 14% more than your competitors out there who didn't build the right brand. So you can get that money.
Build the brand first.
Build the brand before you build your business. So if people aren't converting out there, if they have a company and they still are struggling and they're like, I can't get the message out. I can't get anybody to listen to the message. I keep posting. I keep doing emails. I'm networking. I'm doing podcasts. and the clients aren't converting, you have a brand problem. You don't have a marketing problem. You have a brand problem.
Wow. That makes sense.
Because what is brand? Niching your target audience,
Mhm.
demonstrating your value, the solutions, the problems you solve, the outcomes that you provide. Competitive differentiation. What's the differentiation factor out there? What are your competitors doing that you're going to do completely different? What industry positioning do you have? And most important, how do you pull all of that together and message it that's relevant to that target audience with compelling information that will convince them in the right places?
I see why you worldwide. You good at this.
Yeah. Hopefully it's helpful for all of those entrepreneurs out there. I don't want you I don't want you struggling. And for those who are just starting, start in the right direction. Focus on those 5 pillars.
Yeah, I'm taking notes myself.
Are you?
On time. You always learn something new.
Absolutely.
Working better way at what you're doing. I got numbers across the globe and all demographics, but okay, how can I get to profitability with this?
How can you add up your expenses? How do you monetize your podcast, your lives? You know, how do you want to monetize what you're doing? And just make sure that you follow the 3 that I just did. But you've got to have a really strong brand to make people want to tune into Jeffrey more so than someone else. People have limited time, right?
Yeah, that's true. Those very good points. Now, I noticed on your LinkedIn page, what is the START blueprint?
So the START blueprint is what I've been following for about 15 years.
Wow.
Perfecting it along the way with each one of my companies, but every entrepreneur that came in, I would really analyze it, just study where the gaps and the opportunities were and where were the highest failure rates and why.
Okay.
And how could they be prevented? And really what it is what is the foundation of a business? How do you build it? You know, you have to pour the concrete of a house before you can ever put up the walls or put the curtains up or lay the hardwood floors. If you don't have a strong foundation, everything is matchsticks. It's all just deck of cards, going to tumble to the floor. So it's the same with building a business. You build the foundation, which is science. And then each layer after that is art. And what I discovered is that most people skip the science and they go right to the art, and it's not sustainable. So the START blueprint is a 5-step process. It's based on simplicity of what I've discovered, 6 companies and over 100 entrepreneurs I've worked with to help build or turn around theirs. This blueprint is a step-by-step approach that if you follow the blueprint, you will have a foundation of a business that will generate revenue, attain profitability, and secure sustainability. And it has generated $50 million for companies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is an acronym. What does START actually stand for?
All right. So the first one, we've already talked about it. Secure your brand. That's the first step. You can't build a business without securing your brand. The second is thrive financially. Right from the start. You don't want to be in the red before you start, right? The A is accelerate customers and conversions with the right platforms to the right customers with that right message. And of course, at the right time. R is reaching long-term goals. The moment you start a business, you should be thinking about scaling it. But there's a right time to scale and a wrong time to scale. But you should be thinking about it the very first day you open your doors. Where do you want this company to go? How are you going to get it there? And then finally, thinking your way to greater productivity, focus, and time management with the right mindset that an entrepreneur should have to reduce fear, stress, panic, imposter syndrome, lack of confidence. You got to take all of that, Jeffrey, and just learn the right mindset in business. So that's start.
Awesome. Yeah, you learned a lot from all your companies.
I learned even more from all the people I worked with to build theirs or help salvage what they've built. And the common theme is that everybody thought it was going to be easy.
Mm.
They didn't understand how quickly you need to pivot and have patience and watch things grow. But the biggest mistakes that they made were the ones that are prevented in the START blueprint. Exactly what I just went through with you. There was a common theme in every one of them.
Wow.
No brand building, didn't price right, didn't understand the right customers with the right message on the right platforms at the right time. They had no idea of how to achieve those long-term scale goals to sustain
Mhm.
their business, and they weren't thinking the way an entrepreneur should think.
Yeah, I had to start doing that type of thinking after I started getting more. Well, after I met Tisha Hammond and she started giving me names of more great people to interview, and it started growing with people reach out to me like, I was just looking if I get 22 episodes for season one by January 22, I was doing good. I gotta change that idea.
Yeah, how many episodes now? Like, right?
Friday will be episode 100,
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
and
That's
I
awesome.
rebooted back in March last year. I'm like, wow, yeah, so I definitely had to pivot.
Yeah, everybody's had to pivot. And those businesses who don't pivot quickly, then it's going to be tough for long term survival. And I think COVID taught us that.
Hmm.
Uh, I say to people, make sure you have some money in the bank. I remember Cheesecake Factory, they couldn't even pay 6 weeks worth of rent. They had no profitability, no money in the bank for emergencies. And that's why I say to every entrepreneur, don't be in that position. Put a little bit aside every time.
Yeah, yeah, COVID did make you really get back to grinding because they call it what the Great Resignation. I've been reading where
Yeah.
I'm sick of this job. I'm life's too short. I'm doing what I really should be doing. Like, wow, like, you making 100 grand. Like, I got money. Say I'm gonna do what I really need to do. Like, okay,
I
it's
know.
happening
They need.
everywhere. Like, wow, the Great Resignation. Okay,
I, what's funny is that there were 5 million businesses created last year in the United States. So that's the good
wow,
news. Yeah. So I think a lot of people are resigning, like you said, and go, I'll live off savings while I start a business, thinking it's going to be easy. And the other thing that's kind of sad is that a lot of people have been kicked out of their industry or, due to
unfortunately,
ageism and can't get back in. And so by it isn't by choice, it
yeah,
is by necessity. They have to start a company. And the reality though is that 20% of that 5 million will be out of business by the end of this year. That's the rate. 20% in the first year, 30% in the second year. So
yeah,
it's not easy.
yeah. It's not. I mean, I kept getting demand for. Well, how can I let people know to check it out? Like, Anchor is just audio, and I download it. StreamYard. What's that?
Oh,
Okay, I can do a
yeah.
live, so you can tell your people y'all can be talking in the chat line. Like, had to figure that out quickly. Like, again, a lot of people want to be able to do that communication in the chat. Like, okay, so you definitely do got to be like a swivel head, be able to change and
Mhm.
learn and adapt quickly.
That's entrepreneurship right there. And you can't get discouraged. You've got to be patient. You got to keep working it. It's not instantaneous results.
No,
You've got, and if things aren't working, like you said, make changes. It's okay to make a change. It's okay to say, yeah, I don't know if this is working so well, you know, then make a change.
absolutely. Because some people I know, like I be watching your show is really growing. Like, you don't know how much work I be doing. I work 6 to 2:30. Then I work what I work out for a minute. So let's say 4 to 12. If
Wow.
I get someone, let's say I'm taking a break, I ain't gonna look at my phone. I look up and I see like 5 or 8 notifications. Well, I seen that you reached out to me. What is your show about? Like, well, we could do a video chat, LinkedIn Messenger, or we could do a phone call. You just gonna take a chill and just not do nothing with this phone. Like, well, this call. I had this day available, this time, or what time worked for you? Like, okay. Then, oh, you ain't making flyers yet for the what guest is coming up. You need to get that out. I'm like, yeah, this is a grind.
So I have a question for you. Here, I'm going to flip it. What
Sure.
are your goals? What are your goals with, with podcasting, with doing these lives, with having, people on here and having conversations? What is your goal with it?
Well, first, I was being obedient because God led me to help people find their purpose by interviewing amazing, regular people doing awesome stuff so they can see just ain't famous people doing it. Regular people doing it so you can do it.
Right.
But now, since I've been in it, going into 100 episodes, it's more I want to build into a network where if other people I know might want to do a podcast, they can be under my brand.
Great.
And
So you want to educate others and guide others on how to build a successful podcast, how to build a successful media outreach program.
Yeah, so I do have some people that have ideas for a show. Like, well, I mean, you can be under me once I figure out how you become a network and do all that. Or I can show you how to do it yourself. Whatever's your flavor, I'll work with you. Yeah,
Right.
let's go. Definitely go global and profitable. Sponsorship, commercials.
You should create a course on how to podcast. 5 steps to creating a podcast that increases your brand reach, your authority, and gets you sponsorships to pay for it all.
Sound like a God idea. I'm writing this down.
There you go. There's the business idea for you. And let me know if you need help building it, because I'm right here for you. I got you.
Hey, you God seeing with that one. Of course, 5 steps.
I could say 8 steps, 8 simple steps to creating a podcast that increases your reach, elevates your brand authority, and encourages sponsors to drive revenue into your podcast. Something like that. There you go. I just gave it to you.
Yeah, I got to figure out the sponsors so I can actually say I got sponsors now.
Right. You do have to get a few sponsors so you can teach other people how to do it. But it's really about getting the message out there. It's about your brand reach. It's about elevating yourself as an authority. And that's where viewership or listenership or whatever it is, audio grows. And then the sponsors come naturally after that.
Yeah, because I had Milton on yesterday, and he was saying, "Be proud of what you created. This is some good stuff." And I guess I don't like talk about myself, even though I do a lot of stuff where you're gonna be, I guess, in the public, which is kind of weird, introvert. But I left from that awesome conversation like, yeah, I never really used LinkedIn except for business class. I had like 20 or 30 connections. And now I got almost 340. So I'm like, yeah, you came a long way in a year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's growth. It's progress. It's awesome. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. I'm glad I'm a part of it.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you wanting to do it, share your story, because I'm always from the mindset, they're gonna look at me stranger danger. What this guy want? Why you asking my business? That's my personal story, but I'm finding people actually want to share it. But they don't want to be in an environment where it's a bull jive. Like, why you ask me that type of question? So the tagline where we treat you like family, make it very cool and comfortable for you to tell your story.
I think people want to tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody has a story to be told, and there's somebody out there that needs to hear it. So if you want to multiply your impact, if you have a mission, then you're going to have to be a little bit vulnerable with it.
How so? Coach me up.
Well, It's authenticity. If you've walked the path, if you've experienced the journey, and you want to help others get through the same thing, they're going to have to hear the hardships. They're going to have to hear the losses, the struggles, the challenges. It's not all roses. And so everything in life has a struggle.
True.
It's how you overcome it that makes the difference. So for me, it's an entrepreneurship. It's business. That's what I do. That's what I love. My mission is other people's success. So how did I get there? You know, there's a story behind it. And if people want to be successful, they need to hear it. They need to hear it
Okay.
because it could save their business. And so for you, they need to hear your story. Why are you doing this? Why are people going to be treated like family when they sit in this seat? Is it because at one point you were in an uncomfortable situation? Somebody didn't treat you well in a situation and you were said, nope, I'm going to make sure everybody who comes on here, I'll put them at ease. They'll share their story. That's how I want my brand to look.
Well, I didn't really have that situation when I was coming up with the tagline. It was more, you're strangers, and how can you get them to be comfortable to share? Well,
Yeah.
people feel like family if you go to a barbecue, after good conversation. Okay, you cool people, you know, I like you. That interaction is what I pray for every show to make sure I'm in the right mind to have the right energy, vibe, so I can bring that interaction with people. So it's a cool conversation to celebrate what they've accomplished. Because I mean, we are strangers to a degree, even if we do a meet and greet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You're sharing how from age whatever till you got to this point,
Yeah.
and that's like a snapshot of your whole life in an hour or however long you want to share with a stranger. Where my mindset is, I want them to feel very comfortable to do that, so it can help someone find their purpose.
Well, you're doing a good job of it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
And we've got a few people down here. Mary Wells, that's family. She be here Friday. Got Nisha, Infrared
Nisha.
in the house. For a minute, it wasn't working. They fixed it. So I look like I see people on there, but I don't see no comments. What's going
I
on?
don't see anything either. I don't know. Maybe that's because I'm on this side, but I don't see anything. Nothing.
Yeah, it might be. I can put one up on the screen. You can see it. Yep. I'll put this one up here. She said that.
Misha, yes. One of my favorite entrepreneurs of all time.
Then Mary said that, which is your story does matter.
Yes, it does, Mary. People need to hear it. You may not think so, but it's amazing how you could touch people, even if it's just one person. That means you made an impact.
Yeah. And that's something in my books I've written, that I need to be the example. And from you talking, it's like I see why I was told by God, whatever you do in positive direction, you got to be the example point.
Yep.
And now I need to speak on that more so they can understand the mindset of why I want a person to get on the show and be chill, have a conversation about what they done.
Yeah.
To some people I get, they seem to be nervous for a minute. I'm like, okay, give them a minute. Oh, okay. This cool. Like, yeah, it's about you. And whatever you want to promote, anything you want to share, I ask basic questions. I think it's basic.
Yeah, they were pretty simple. I didn't get too stumped.
Nah, I only got like a few more. How to being a keynote speaker help on your career journey?
Well, I absolutely love speaking. So you want to talk about multiplying your impact. You could speak in front of 1,000 people, 2,000 people, and be able to get your message across in just 15, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I say to small business owners is increase your authority in your industry. Become a thought leader. become somebody that they say, wow, there's information here I want to hear, because the most important thing is connection with those people. Those are your potential customers that you're speaking to. Those are the people who will relate to you, who have already started to get to know you, start to trust you in that audience, and then you can continue that conversation and nurture them later. Usually, as a keynote speaker, I receive the list of attendees if they've decided to opt in and hear more from me. That's an amazing opportunity for a small business owner. They've got to collect the list. They've got to nurture that list. And so now they can hear from me afterwards, and I build a relationship with them. And then they can make a decision if they want to come and work with me to help build their business. So being a keynote speaker, I say to everybody, strive for that. Just start local. Just join the Chamber of Commerce in your local area and do presentations and webinars for that. They're always looking for people. And then at networking events, let people know you're available for, different organizations out there. Start small, and then you'll see how quickly your authority will grow. People will want to hear from you. And that's how you'll be able to connect with potential customers who eventually will be your customers.
I'm checking that myself. I ain't spoken for nobody in a while, but you give me courage that it ain't that bad. It's doable. The last question: what advice do you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
Everybody has a different purpose. Don't let anybody out there tell you yours is not important. Okay. And your purpose, I want you to stay focused. Be strategic, be thoughtful, really dig deep. What are you trying to achieve and accomplish? And I will tell you, if you give more than you ask for, it'll come back 10 times over. So provide value, share your purpose out there, share your mission, provide value first, and then watch the results later. So if you're looking for it, be strategic, be focused, be thoughtful. Think about the people you want to make an impact, because they're the ones who come first. And then you'll be able to achieve it.
See why you're a coach. Pretty good stuff right there. And definitely help somebody.
That's the mission.
Anything you want to promote? What you got going on in recent?
I am one of those that I don't do a lot of promotion, Jeffrey.
Okay.
You know what? I'm somebody who says, if you see this, you like the conversation Jeffrey and I have been having, this resonates with you, go to 8simplesteps.net. Send me an email. Let's chat about your business, see where you're at. And if I'm the right person for you, you will know it. You will know it. You will feel comfortable with it. You will trust it. And you'll go with it.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I think that, remember, it's all about simplicity. Don't make business complicated. Business is about relationships. It's about relationships. People are complicated.
Yeah.
Business doesn't have to be complicated. It's about relationships. And when they are ready to make a change, they're ready to make a change in their business, their mindset, their finances. They have to be ready to do it. If they want to stop Googling and YouTubing their business to work, which it never will, then that's when you pick up the phone and you say, can I have my chat with you so I know where to go next? They got to be ready for that.
Yeah, you got to put the work in.
Yep.
It ain't going to happen in 5 minutes. I mean, I'm shocked in a year what I've accomplished, but I'm always working on it.
As an entrepreneur, I will tell you, it's much easier to go collect a paycheck at corporate America and then you walk out the door. This, you live it, breathe it.
Yeah.
Think about it every minute. Every minute, it's your baby. It really is. It's like you're a parent. You
I
gave
thought it
birth
was just
to a
me.
kid. No,
I'm
no. This is entrepreneurship.
Like,
That's having a business. Yeah.
I'm tired of going outside the building, man. It's cold outside. Just gotta pop.
No, this is it. It's not for the faint of heart. It isn't.
No.
Don't walk the journey alone, is what I say. Find somebody who can walk it with you, who can give you the support, who can give you the knowledge and the experience that's going to make you successful. Don't do it alone. It's too hard.
I've had some people like, I ain't seen you in a minute. Like, you see, I'm posting like every day, right? You see me. I'm doing that. I ain't checked the episode. I don't know why not. You know what I'm doing.
Right. Go learn about it.
Me being open, charismatic, like I like to be to myself. So this is work just coming up my shell. Like that's a lot of work to make sure I'm on brand to make people comfortable, share their story.
There's your
like,
brand.
I ain't got time to hang out right now.
I'm building a business. I'm building an empire.
Exactly. So I'm like, this is gonna be global, baby. I'm gonna bring in 7 figures because I want to know what that feels like. Then I can help more people.
You know what? Then you're gonna do it.
Oh, absolutely.
You're gonna do it.
Absolutely. I don't know what month and day, but it's coming.
It's coming. Just stick with the mission.
Yeah, God is pesky like that, man. You need to keep adding more to the like stream, dude. I mean, Anchor, that was easy. I ain't gotta look at nobody. Like, nope, you comfortable. Do live video. Like, okay. All right. So I figured it out. And it's not bad. No. I was terrified the first time I did it.
Well, you have to jump out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
To grow. And I mean, think about all the people who are starting in entrepreneurship. They are terrified. They live in fear every day, fear of making a mistake, the self-doubt. They're it's questioning everything. And then when the money isn't coming in, the fear gets even worse. Okay. So at the end of the day, they're out of their comfort zone. They're out of their, but the growth is just unimaginable. The journey is unbelievable. And I want people to embrace it and enjoy entrepreneurship. If it isn't going well, does anybody enjoy anything that is a drag, that's horrible, that's stressful, and there's panic every minute, and you don't see the results, and you're like, this is, my financial future's on the line. My kids' college education's on the line. I know it.
Hey,
I felt it. It was horrible.
You preach right now. I done had them conversations like, we ain't getting paid for this. You doing it?
Yeah.
This gonna hit. You told me to do it. God don't tell me nothing that ain't right. So I'm obedient. This gonna pop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep learning, keep getting better to where I'm Fortune 500 with it. So I'm gonna keep grinding. Get it out the middle.
And keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Right. So how'd you enjoy your experience on the show?
I felt like family.
Awesome. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Well, I'd like to thank the founder of 8 Simple Steps, Maureen Gaige-Edwards, for she gave a lot of free advice. You need to go check her out. She looked out for real. Because I know I got notes like I was in school.
Well, and I'm going to hold you accountable to them. So whatever you wrote down, whatever those goals are, we are going to circle back, have another conversation. I'm going to turn it around and interview you and find out where you are. 500 more episodes in the next quarter. That's my goal for you.
Okay. Hey, you speak to existence. I'll make it happen.
Good.
I'll make it happen.
I'm rooting for you.
Hey, I appreciate it. Definitely gonna have you back again.
I would love it.
Probably have all of y'all. That might be a cool show.
Okay. That would be cool.
So I hope you have an amazing night. I'm gonna do all the editing, send you a copy of the show. You're gonna see me post. I'm gonna put your website. If you notice, I put latest episode. I try to put that now, so put more eyeballs to what you're doing. So just click right on her website. It's right there.
And I will reciprocate as well, Jeffrey. I will send it out to all my social media handles, all of my social media pages, my followers.
Hey, I got to follow you. What are your handles? Get those out there.
So you can reach me. Obviously, I have an 8 Simple Steps Facebook page,
Okay.
LinkedIn page. I'm also on Clubhouse with 2
Ooh.
separate rooms that I run, which is, business results done simply. Okay, makes sense, right?
Mhm.
That's every Thursday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and it's every single thing you need to know about business, where you can get results and it can be simply implemented.
Okay.
And then I have the Truth About Marketing, which is every Monday from 2 to 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I think that was pretty self-explanatory. Everything, all my award-winning best practices, I share with people,
Mhm.
all of the insights, the resources, they're all there. So if you want to join me on Clubhouse for those two, I am there. And then I have my Instagram, which is Maureen Edwards at 8
Okay.
Steps. Yeah.
I'll be following you in a little bit.
Yeah. Reach out, please.
I was created a clubhouse too, and I'm gonna start doing the shows on Saturday where I talk about anything else besides just this part of the show.
Now, are you on Clubhouse, Jeffrey?
Yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
good. Good. Because there are tons of podcasting rooms that I also participate in.
Okay.
Tons. I could definitely introduce you to quite a few people who are in this realm.
Oh,
And
cool.
you could get so many people who would love to sit down and have a conversation with you like we are having. So yeah. So
Yeah, I
let's get
welcome that.
together. Yeah, let's get together and get some networking going.
Hey, I'm with it.
Good.
You're awesome.
So are you. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you for doing it. Hope you enjoy your night. Until next time, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for watching, and keep it simple.
There you go.